Hi, it's Hope and welcome to the vlog. This is going to be the vlog for January 30th through February 5th and just about what I'm doing in my life, what I'm reading, and all of that over the next week. So today, it's currently Sunday the 30th at about 10 p.m. I didn't start this because literally all I've done today is edit a video and read and watch reading sprints. That's literally my entire day. Now, you might be wondering what book I finished. I finished An Ember in the Ashes by Saboteur, and I gave this 5 stars. I absolutely love this. I'm just going to briefly explain my thoughts and what it's about. So essentially we have I'm just going to read the back because I will probably end up finding a way to spoil it. But Laia is a slave, Elias is a soldier, neither is free. Under the Martial Empire, defiance is met with death. Laia and her family do not challenge the Empire. They are seen what happens to those who do, but when Laia's brother is arrested for treason, she is forced to make a decision. In exchange for help from the rebels who promised to rescue her brother, she has to risk her life to spy on them from within the Empire's greatest military academy. There, Laia meets Elias, the school's finest soldier, and secretly its most unwilling. He and Laia will soon realize that their destinies are entwined and that their choices will change the fate of the Empire itself. Yeah, I would have found a way to spoil that. That's also all I knew going into this book, so that's like pretty much what I'm going to base off of. I gave this 5 stars. I love it. This was a 5-star prediction, and it lived up to that. I loved Laia and Elias so goddamn much in this book. Even though they technically don't meet till a little under halfway through, like maybe around like the 40% mark, and just the two of them individually and like their interactions together are phenomenal. I love this world. I'll just briefly this world here. I love it. The way that it's technically a fantasy, but there are like almost no fantasy elements in it. So far it's all really just like political about this empire that has like taken control over the lands over the last 500 years. The only magical thing is like there's kind of like these like magical monsters, almost like monsters that Elias and one other character have to fight, and then there's these people that are like 500 years old. That's like the only magic in this world so far, and I like that. Nope, I lied, there's one other magic, but mentioning it would be spoilers. But like the magic is there's like no magic, and I love that because I'm low-key falling into a minor like fantasy slump where I don't want something that's like fantasy, and this kind of fits that. It is again like a political fantasy. It's like I just love it. I'm just loving it. I'm so mad that I can't just continue the series because this is a library book, so I need to get the other books from the library or buy them myself. I probably won't be able to because I won't be able to afford them, but we'll see. And then also I've like literally like 20 books on my February TBR, so like can't read it in February, which sucks, but maybe March I'll try to get the rest of the books on this series on my TBR. But I literally just enjoyed this so much. I will say I do think my favorite character is Elias because like I don't know, he just like fits everything that I want, that I like in a male character, of like, and then like other things I don't know, I prefer his point of view than Laia's. I'll just say that. And I'm going to stop talking about this book because I will ramble about it for another like 20 minutes, and we'll be here all day. But then I also have an ebook started that I'm carrying over from last week, which I will be continuing here in literally as soon as I finish this clip. I will be crawling into bed and reading it, and that is Brother Song by T.J. Klune. This is the 4th and final book in the Green Creek series, which essentially is like a series where we follow this pack of werewolves, the Bennett pack, as shit happens to them. That's basically all I can describe it as. I never really explain this series anytime I talk about it because I literally went into the first book knowing gay werewolves. That explains most of the series. And currently the character we're following, because like each book they all link together to one big story, but we follow a different point of view of a character in each book. So like book one has one character, book 2 has a different character, book 3 has a different character, and now book 4 we're on the character of Carter's point of view. And I low-key really enjoy his point of view because essentially he's been like away from his pack, his family, for the last 11 months doing something, and he's slowly like slipping into insanity, and now at the point I'm at, I am 52% into the book. I don't know how many pages that is. Brain can't just immediately compute that. I don't even know how big the book is, in all honesty. Things are starting to happen, and like we are like almost at the point that we're finally gonna hopefully finish off the big bad. And like I just literally, this series I think is one that will always be part of my heart, in all honesty. And I just love it so much. I know that Brother Song's going to be a 5-star. I knew it was going to be a 5-star within the first like chapter. Honestly, every single book in the series is a 5-star. It's, I think, one of my favorite series. So yeah, I'm going to continue on with more of that. And that's kind of where I'm going to leave this clip here and this clip for the day. I know that literally this next week I have nothing to do. I recently had my last day of work. Technically yesterday was my last day of work. So I need to kind of start looking for another job as well as deal with schoolwork, and like that's kind of literally the plan for this week. But yeah, I will see you sometime tomorrow. Okay, so it is Monday at 5:47. That's the current time, and I apologize for not talking earlier to the vlog. I've just kind of had a chill day because currently my school is not in session until tomorrow, and I don't have to do anything really. I mean, I should probably organize my room, but like that's like the only thing that I need to do. But last night I read up to 74% of Brother Song, and I am absolutely loving it. Like, it's gonna be a 5-star, like I've already said. I love the characters, and I'm very curious on how it's gonna end. I'm scared of it ending because I don't want it to end, and that's pretty much like all of my thoughts so far. I love the character interactions. I love the atmosphere. I just love everything about this series. So yeah, and then since I finished An Ember in the Ashes last night, I kind of needed another physical book, and you would think, logically, just start your February TBR early. Me and logic don't make sense, so I decided to pick up a 500-page book, that being Aurora's End by Amy Kaufman and J. Kristoff. A 500-page book that is not on my TBR. To be fair, I'm already 115 pages into it, and it's looking to be a 5-star read. So Aurora's End is the third and final book in the Aurora cycle series, the first book being Aurora Rising, where essentially we follow Squad 312, and they are this squad from this space academy. We are in the year 2380, and essentially when the leader of this squad, Tyler Jones, on graduation day decides to kind of go out into space, he ends up discovering this wreck of a spaceship, and discovers Aurora O'Malley, who is a survivor from this crash. The only thing is that she's been there for 200 years, unknowing why that happened, and Aurora ends up kind of forcefully joining Squad 312, and it's them figuring out a bunch of stuff, and then there's these ancient aliens and all of that, and Aurora's End is the third and final book, as I've already said, and this takes place, picks up pretty much right after Aurora Burning, which is the second book. The ending of that was such a big cliffhanger, and I'm finally able to read this. I'm loving it so far. We have almost, you might as well say, our characters are our 6 main characters are split up into these. They each have their own plot line. 3 characters are currently stuck in this time loop in the past, which is very interesting, and I'm very curious to see where they're gonna go. And then we have 2 characters that are with this evil person that is trying to destroy stuff, and then the other one, and then another character who is kind of become a main character, are somewhere else. I honestly couldn't tell you where they are, and I'm loving this so much. I love these characters. I love these character dynamics. I love just so much about this book so far. I love this series. I gave book 1 4 stars, book 2 4.5, and then this one I think it could potentially be a 5-star, as I've literally, like, I don't want to put it down. I didn't want to put it down to start the vlog, like start the vlog clip for today. I'm loving it so much. Currently, like earlier I was watching Barb from Barb's Bookland, her sprints, and now I'm currently watching Books and Bops, their sprints. So yeah, I've been just doing sprints today pretty much, and I'd like to hit the 200 page mark of this, but I'm not sure if I can. Well, I probably will be able to, because this Books and Bops sprints just started, and there's probably going to be at least 2 more sprints. So that's fairly possible. So yeah, this is what I'm currently reading. This is the most, like, I don't want to use the term insane in a bad way, but it's like the most insane book I've read in a while, because, like, as I've mentioned, we have the 3 characters in the past, and they're trying to figure out how to get out of their time loop that they're in, and currently they're still there, but there's also a few little things that are keying back into the main plot, like the previous 2 books. And then we have the 2 characters that were with, what I ended up calling the villain, because, like, was kind of the villain of the last book. And the previous 2 books take place in the year 2380. They are not at that point in time. They are 27 years in the future. Don't ask me how they got there. I don't know. And then we are in, I believe, the year 2380 with another character. So we're on all different points in time. I wouldn't have guessed that. Literally, based on the thing, there would have been nothing to do with, like, we're in different times. I literally love these characters so much. I'm speechless of this book, but I'm like loving this so much. I made it to page 203, so I made it past that 200 page mark. So now I have a little over 300 pages left. I'm hoping to get this done by maybe Thursday at the latest, mainly because I can't just sit and read 200 pages in a day now, because I start school back up again tomorrow. And then I also have Legendary that I have to start tomorrow for a buddy read. I think it's like an 8-day buddy read. Although I might read ahead, I don't know, but yeah. So I'm going to now crawl into bed and finish Brother's Song and pray that the power doesn't go out, because we're currently in a blizzard. So yeah, like, fingers crossed, because that would be awful. Although the power is normally pretty good at staying on during blizzards. So yeah. But I will talk to you in the morning and let you know my final thoughts on Brother's Song, even though I already know I love it and it's going to be 5 stars. And all that. So, it's 8:30 and I totally forgot to pick up the vlog. I just, like, today my energy just hasn't been great, so I just haven't picked up the camera. Last night I finished Brother's Song and I gave it 5 stars. I loved it to bits and pieces. I cried when I finished the series, because I was like, there's no more books, there's no more, I'm not gonna see any more of these characters, and it, like, broke my heart. I'm not gonna start crying now. Oh my gosh, no, we're not gonna start crying. But, like, I genuinely, like, I'm gonna miss these characters. And then I also started a book today, which was Legendary by Stephanie Garber. This is the sequel to Caraval, where essentially in Caraval, essentially we have these 2 sisters, Scarlett and Tella, that travel to this elaborate game/performance called Caraval, and in the book, essentially, Scarlett has to find Tella, as Tella has been kind of kidnapped as part of this elaborate game/performance. And in this one, we are kind of continuing the ending, and we are switching point of views. So in the first book of Carval, we were following Scarlet's point of view, and now we're switched to Tella's point of view, which I genuinely like because I bet she knows, which I liked because I didn't like Tella that much in the first book, but already, I'm 46 pages into this book, I already like her more. This is a buddy read, so I have it split up into these various sections, and this will take multiple days for me to finish, as I probably will read up to those sections. And that's all I've read today. I didn't pick up any of Aurora's End, solely because, again, I'm like, my energy just hasn't been good. I think I like maybe slept weird last night, so my energy is just like very low. I did film and edit my mid-month wrap-up that goes up tomorrow, so all I have to do tomorrow is the thumbnail and the description. Which that doesn't take that long, so I'm not that worried, but I got to like 6 p.m. tonight and I was like, I didn't film that video yet. So I filmed it, that's done, it's currently exporting. But that's like all I've done. So yeah, I'm going to be starting Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas, and all I know about this is we have Jordan who falls for her boyfriend's dad. That's all I know. I'm buddy reading this with 2 people on Discord. But yeah, I'm going to start Birthday Girl, and I'm very, very excited because this will be my 4th Penelope Douglas book, and I have enjoyed everything else I've read by her. Okay, so it is 1:50 on Wednesday, and currently I am on Ashley from Ashley's Media Addiction, like her sprints, like her Wednesday sprints, and I'm currently reading Aurora's End, but we'll quickly talk about last night. I made it to 77% of Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas, and I'm really, really, really enjoying it. It's looking to be like a 5-star. I'm absolutely loving the characters and the tension and then the dynamic and then also the complicated nature of Jordan and Pike, of how like he's her now ex-boyfriend's dad, and like I love how like just everything about it. I literally was so close to staying up last night and finishing it, but I knew that I had this live, so I was like, I'll end up waking up later and then maybe missing the live. But yeah, I'm here and I'm reading Aurora's End. I've already made a tiny little dent into it. That's now how far I am, and then I have a bookmark there marking where I started so I can calculate pages. So this is kind of today's plan, is just read this, be on the sprints, have fun. I've also apparently signed myself up for a live stream on Saturday for the late night bookwarming book club, to be like a guest host for their Shatter Me Live, which I haven't read in like over 1.5 years. So I'm gonna have to read some like spark notes of that to remind myself of everything, because I don't have time to reread it. Although part of me is like, challenge accepted and wants to do it, so we'll see. And then I also signed myself up for their February/March book club, help be like a co-host for that, because somebody like doesn't want to read the book because of how big it is. And so I was like, I'm already reading it, might as well. And yeah, so that's kind of like the update, I guess. So apparently I'm doing 2 live shows this weekend and this live sprint. That's kind of where we're at. I'm like full of energy today, which compared to yesterday is really good. So I'm just gonna read this. This is very, very, very like, I'm frustrated on like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Also like the 3 characters that are stuck in a time loop, their time loop is getting shorter, so I'm scared about that. And oh my gosh, I'm loving this book so much. Okay, so it is 9 o'clock, and I ended up finishing Aurora's End, and I'm giving it 5 stars. This is my favorite book in this series, although some things I don't fully understand, and I think that is because there's a lot of sci-fi elements that I do not understand, especially the things with like the time travel and like all of that. But I will say, I just love these characters. I'm like so sad that this is their end, but a lot of things throughout the series do make sense. So like that's a good thing, at least, is that things are made sense in this, like so much, for the characters and like for some of the plot in the first 2 books. And then this also, I was just like, I don't understand much of what's going on, but I'm loving it so much. I do still think that my favorite character out of the whole series is Finian, who is on the cover of this book. I think I just like his humor so much, and the way that he can just like lighten up any situation. Although I love every single one of our main characters so much. And yeah, I'm giving this 5 stars. I've already said that. I don't really have any other big thoughts on it, except I did really, really enjoy it. This isn't my favorite Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff book. That still definitely goes to the Illuminae Files. I say just that entire series because I cannot pick a favorite of those. But this is a series that I do see myself rereading someday because I just love these characters so much. And maybe upon a reread, some of the more like sci-fi heavy elements would make a little bit more sense. So yeah. So now I also reorganized my bookshelf a little bit. You'll see like that little bit different. I think I'm gonna do an entire bookshelf tour. I also need to do that one over there first, because there's one like that you can't see. But I just need like that, having just a pile of random books just on one of the shelves kind of annoyed me. I also like cleaned like some of the things that were on like my floor in my room and went through like that system of things there. I just was in like a cleaning mood after sprints. So I was like, okay, we'll finish reading and then clean. But I'm gonna go and continue with Birthday Girl, as I'm gonna finish that tonight. Finishing 2 books in one day. I feel amazing. Especially since this wasn't on my February TBR and it was 512 pages. So it's gonna be good to get one book marked off of my TBR. And then maybe that'll give me a little bit more confidence in my ability to complete this TBR. Okay, so first of all, I want to point out that I got my hair cut. My hair used to go down to like, I don't even think you can see where my hair used to go down to. It used to go down so much lower than it does now. And hence why it's also curled, is the amazing person that did my hair curled it. My hair was like frustrating to do because of the curls not wanting to hold, but I love the way it looks. But last night I finished Birthday Girl and I gave it 4.5. It was going to be a 5, and then the last like 20% kind of ruined it for me, solely because of the miscommunication trope being so absolutely utter garbage. Like, I'm gonna say mild spoilers for like the last 20% is like, Jordan and Pike got into an argument after Jordan's ex-boyfriend Cole / also Pike's son found out about Jordan and Pike, even though there was no cheating at all, anything like that. Everything happened between Jordan and Pike after Jordan and Cole broke up. Like, well, Cole cheated on Jordan. So like there was cheating on that aspect, but never her and Pike at all. And then the way that there just wasn't the communication of it was like, either like Jordan was like to Pike, either tell Cole or I'm done. And it's like, first of all, it was like midnight when this thing happened. I'm like, I would make an agreement, be like, hey, how about in the morning we sit down? Nope, Jordan just fucks off and just like ends up fucking off for 2 months. And then finally, like, Pike tracks her down. And I'm like, all this would have done is needed a conversation that wasn't at 2 a.m. I don't know what time it actually was, but wasn't in the middle of the night, based on heightened emotions. Like you should have just been like more open with it. And like, I get obviously like it's not the ideal situation, like the whole thing, but like that frustrated me. And then so that just kind of like annoyed me, but I still love the tension and the interactions between the characters. And like, this is my second favorite Penelope Douglas book. The order of the books from best to worst that I've read is Punk 57, Birthday Girl, Trick 6 Venom, and then Credence. But yeah, I did really enjoy it. I'm very excited to see what the people on buddy reading this think of that and all that. And then I also started last night, because I just like didn't want to stop reading, but what was I saying? But I also started Barbarian Alien by Ruby Dixon, which essentially these group of women are like stranded on this alien planet, and there are these big blue aliens, and there's like, to survive on this planet you have to have this thing called, I don't even know how to actually pronounce it. The girls jokingly call it a cootie. It's like a Akui or something like that. I don't know exactly how it's pronounced. It's never actually properly said of how it's pronounced. But essentially you have to have that thing to survive, and those things are like give you a mate essentially. So it's literally just alien porn, and I'm loving it so much because we have the characters. Each book is a different thing. Technically this is the second book in the Ice Planet Barbarian series, but essentially in this we follow Liz and Rahush, and it's like enemies on her end to lovers. On his end it's more of like, I just need you, like you're my mate. But there's also some funny things because of like him not knowing what human things are and thinking it's something different. I'm like, oh honey, no. And then also something that like happened today that like I don't know how I feel, is so I was messaging with a few people on this like bookish Twitter thing that I'm on with a bunch of people. Like there's maybe like 10 of us or something like that, and one of the people was talking about writing, and I was like, I'm gonna pop myself into this conversation. Another person popped into the conversation, and we kept on talking about writing and books and all that, and like two of them sent like the first couple of paragraphs of their works, and I'm like, have I found friends? And then we ended up just making a group chat. So apparently I might have found like kind of slight like critique partners for my writing, as I sent the first 3 paragraphs of my I say borderline YA new adult, it's like at least like age 16 plus novel, and one of the people said that they like are interested in reading more, and part of me's like, bullshit, you're lying, it's awful, it's trash. And like I don't know how I feel about that, of having like somebody say like my work is not garbage, because I constantly say myself my work is garbage. And I'm very, 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 very excited to be chatting with these people, and like we were talking about like critique partners and publishing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I find myself like, I'm like always like, I love these people because they're like interacting with me in ways that I love, and like things that I love, and I just like I just how I feel. But I'm currently watching Books and Bops sprints. Casey from Books and Bops is live doing some sprints, and I am going to continue on with Where Even Is the Book? Legendary, as I have yesterday's and today's pages to read, as I didn't read it yet. I didn't read it yesterday, so I'm gonna do that, which means I have to get to page 149, which I do think is doable because that's about 100 pages. If not, I'm not really upset if I fall behind on this buddy read. So yeah. So we're just gonna pretend that I didn't forget to update the vlog and it's not almost 7 p.m. on Friday. We're just gonna pretend that that didn't happen. But currently, well, first I'll go back to what I was reading last night, Barbarian Alien. I finished that and I gave it 3.5 stars. I like really liked it. I don't know why. I just like how easy it is to read, and just like with like the 2 books in the series so far that I've read is like they have tropes that I don't like, but I like everything else, so I can get past those tropes. And like I'm genuinely sitting here like I want to read another one. I want to read like I just want to read everything in this series because like it's weird. I'm oddly hooked. And I don't know if it's just because they're quick and easy reads, like I can read them in typically 1 or 2 days, and all of that, so it's like, yeah, I guess so, like, I don't know. And then now, currently I'm on page 177 of Legendary. Don't ask me which day's pages this is. I think I'm finally on today's pages. Is that? We'll go with I'm reading today's pages, I think. And I'm really enjoying it. The character of Jax just got introduced, and like he is one of the I think I'd say like the most iconic character from this series, because I mean he has an entire spin-off. Is it going to be a trilogy about him, or like it's a prequel thing, which like mainly because of that book, like Once Upon a Broken Heart, which was the first book in that, like, again, I think it's a trilogy, is really what got me wanting to read Caraval, because I'm like, okay, this series must be amazing if the author's writing more into this world and more about some of these characters. And, like, I will say, so far from Jax, I love him. Like, that's in all honesty. I'm just like, I really like the character. I'm excited to learn more about you and excited to see how you play into the plot, because also I knew that he was going to be introduced into this book. I basically was like, if he doesn't, like, I'm going to be shocked. But then also, like, I kind of guessed who he was. Well, I had, like, these two theories of, like, who he, like, of, like, as being, like, being introduced, of, like, how he would be introduced type thing. Turns out both of my theories were correct. Like, okay, gonna be correct. And I'm not mad that I, like, guessed that. I'm really happy, actually, because, like, I like the way it was done. And I'm really liking this book. I don't think I like it as much as Caraval, but I'm not even at the 200-page mark, so that could totally change. And then I'm not filming a video for tomorrow, which is Saturday. I had an idea, and then the idea was like, but do I want to film that? And the answer is no. So I'm not filming a video for Saturday, but I'm doing 2 live shows this weekend, one on Saturday, one on Sunday, so, like, that kind of makes up for it. But, like, that kind of makes up for it as I'm going to be on Kit Kat's Can Read channel to do a Shatter Me discussion with her and a bunch of other people. And then on Sunday, I will be on Clint from Reed's Readers channel to discuss Heart Song and Brother Song by TJ Klune. Which I'm very excited for that, because, like, I loved our Raven Song discussion, because it was just so fun, and, like, all of that. So, yeah, I'm probably just going to, like, read more of, like, Legendary, and then, like, all of that. I know I'm going to be starting an ebook, but I will talk about that in a few minutes. Well, it'll be, like, right away for you. It'll be, like, probably, like, an hour or two for me until I talk about it. So it's now 7:45, and I have read up to page 216 of Legendary, and no further thoughts on pretty much what I've said earlier. Still really enjoying it, and yeah. And then the ebook that I'm going to be starting is Claimed by Cupid by Dana Isley, and this is the, it's kind of like the sequel to Dipped in Holly, where essentially these are, like, erotic novellas where we follow Nick and Holly, and it's just their, like, smutty adventures. The first book, Dipped in Holly, was, like, a couple days before Christmas. Holly got dumped, met Nick, and they had a, like, wild and smutty night. And then in Claimed by Cupid, it is Valentine's Day, and they're going out on a Valentine's Day date that will then lead to smut. That's all I want to know. I know I'm going to love this. I love everything by Dana Isley. Anytime I mention Dana Isley, I say she could literally write a shopping list and I would read it. Like, one of my favorite authors, like, especially, like, for smut, like, smut is top tier. I'm very excited to read this, and this will be done in, I'll finish it by tomorrow because it's, like, 68 pages. So very short, very quick, and that's what I'll be reading. And I will hopefully update the vlog again before the live tomorrow, if not shortly after. I'm not really sure. So are we gonna be surprised that it's 9 o'clock and I'm updating this vlog? Because honestly, we should not be surprised at this point. In my defense, I forgot to update before the Shatter Me live, which went amazing, by the way. I'll get into that in a few moments. But last night I finished Claimed by Cupid, and I'm giving it 4 stars. It was really cute, really fun, and apparently the next novella is going to be Nick and Holly going on a, like, trip to Mexico and getting engaged, and I'm like, I'm here for that. I'll read anything about them. I love them. And then, so back to this morning. I woke up, I kind of just did some things on my computer, no big deal. I did the Shatter Me live, which was amazing, and we might be continuing the entire series to do a, for the book club, the late night book club, which I'm down for. I've been meaning to do a reread, and this might be my time. And then live ended, one of the people ended, then another one of the people left like half an hour later, and then by 4 o'clock, Katie, who is who was the wonderful host of this, left, leaving me and a person called Sunny in the StreamYard thing. We were chatting until I think it was 8 o'clock my time. 4 hours. Sunny is a person that I've spoken with once before, I think. I bet it was multiple hours worth of chatting. And we spent 4 hours talking about books, talking about writing our books, because we're both writers. We were literally chatting so much about our books and our works and all of that, and it was just amazing to hear from another writer, and also hear about her story, because it sounds amazing, and I'm okay, I need to read this. And then also, the two of us, if you saw the live, you will know what read-along we are thinking of hosting and we have the plans for, but I'm not going to say anything official because, we're pretty positive on when it's going to start, which I guess I can say would be in August, but I'm not going to say what, and I love that. I was literally just saying to myself, last week, I'd love to I'd love to do something like what I'm doing, what we're going to be doing together, and I didn't expect it would be the way it's doing, but I'm very, very, very happy for it, and I'm very excited for it. Let's just say, I guess I really hope Sunny doesn't mind me saying this, but it would be a read-along of a series, of a fairly long series of standalones. So it'd be a series of standalones, and I believe we're going to try to do another StreamYard chat sometime later this week or next week to discuss it a little bit more, figure out the social media aspect of it. And this was literally just her being hey, I got this set of books early in the day. They posted to the book club chat on Twitter, couldn't think of the thing, being anyone want to buddy read this, and then jokingly in the live was kind of want to do a buddy read or a read along, and I'm I'll help with that, I'll join that, and then it turned into doing a whole read along of it. So if you watch the live or can watch it back, you know what series it is. We're still kind of up in the air on a few things, are we going to do a Discord, are we going to do Twitter, if we're thinking of doing it when we're thinking of, I'd probably have the announcement video up late May, early June maybe, I'm not 100% sure. So yeah, we literally just spent 4 hours talking, and I literally loved every single second of it. And yeah, this is also where I'm going to end the vlog. I didn't read any of Legendary. Where even is it? I didn't read any of Legendary today, and I'm fine with that because I had so much fun chatting, not only just with Sunny, but on the live. I loved hearing everyone's thoughts, and I'm very, very excited to do this experience of being a part of the book club, because although I won't be on every single live unless some people cancel on being on the live, I will be on February's live, which will be on March. The first Saturday in March, is it the 5th? Yes, it's the 5th of March on Sam from the Yarn Reader channel discussing the first half of House of Earth and Blood. That is what it is. And I'm just so excited for this experience with not only this read-along thing, but the book club, and then also just having a friend that's a fellow writer to bounce ideas off of and all of that. And I'm literally Katie from Kit Kats Can Read. She's the one that kind of almost introduced us, as shoved us in. I think we're two different group chats. One was the late night bookworming thing, and then also just a bookish friends one. And then now we're on a writing thing, and we have an individual Twitter chat, and we'll probably have a Twitter page that we might run together, and it's so fun. Just like I love the book community so much. And, but I really hope you enjoyed this video. I really hope to see you in my next vlog, where I'll be continuing Legendary, and then tonight I'll be starting a book. I have no idea what book, so I guess you'll have to see what that is in my next vlog, as I literally have no idea. But I really hope you enjoyed this video, and stick around with all my rambling, and bye!